Welcome to the forecast. Tonight I'm joined with my boy Davey down there, Dave Habit, Zach Lubin. Tonight we have a great guest. Should be about a 10 to 15 minute interview. A Cleveland like Dave, an Ohio State Buckeye, a Division I wrestling, a great leader for the Cleveland area, a current UFC, he's looking to be in the UFC. He's a big-time fighter. He's starting his career off. Mark Martin. We'll bring him in. We'll talk a little wrestling. We'll talk a little fighting, and then we'll see how things go.
Oh, yeah, we good.
You good now? All right, cool.
Yeah. What's going on?
Not much. So we recently just started this podcast, the forecast. We're trying to talk a little sport and, do these little side interviews on the side. I was scrolling through Twitter. It was like UFC Fight Pass. You popped right up. I was like, oh, gotta hit my boy up. So,
Right.
Here we are. So
Perfect timing.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to start off, Mark, because we go back probably the furthest. Did you start off at Strongsville Mustangs? I might be making that up, but I remember when you came over to West Shore Wrestling Club. Did you start off at Strongsville, by the way?
Yeah, my first year of wrestling was at Strongsville, and then I came to West Shore my second year, and then I was with them ever since.
Yeah, see, I remember that. That was just – I remember you'd wear a shirt or something, but So, me and Mark wrestled at West Shore all the way up until high school. I'm a couple years older than you, and, we knew you were going to be good. And then you went to St. Ed's. You were a 3-time finalist, 2-time state champ. And, I mean, the way that I looked at it, I know it's true. I was already in college, but it was pretty much guys like, whatever weight Dominic Abinator and Mark were, they were always a weight class apart. You were basically battling for second place. They were on the same team. And I think the one year you were like 152, he was 160. And then the next year was like 160, 170. But, I mean, they were the two best guys in the state. So that's the background. And then I went to the rival high school, St. Ignatius. So that's a pretty cool aspect of it. Yeah. West Shore was a feeder program, or is a feeder program for St. Ed's pretty much. You don't have to go to St. Ed's, but the top guys in the Cleveland area go to St. Ed's, and we practice right at the high school. So it kind of doesn't make sense not to go there. But, we make the decisions. But so just giving a background on how good your high school wrestling career was, you were also one of the best guys in the country. Eventually, you went to Ohio State. But I wanted to ask you a question. First is, what was your favorite experience about either St. Ed's high school or just the St. Ed's wrestling team? Either or. It doesn't have to be wrestling. But what was your favorite memory or favorite thing about being at St. Edward's High School?
Yeah, so you were saying, we all come up together. A lot of people think that we recruit all across the country and we bring these kids in, from, 8th and 9th grade. But really, my whole team throughout high school, we all grew up wrestling together since, 8 and 9 years old, and we all came up together. So it was really like a brotherhood with us at Ed's. And it was cool to see everybody, end up succeeding at such a high level. I think my senior year, every starter went D1. I think Alex Moore was the only one. He had D1 offers, but he went D3. So every other starter went D1 on that 2012 team.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So, and we all started together at, in West Shore. So I think that was special. St. Ed's is a special place, kind of like Ignatius, because everybody is either there for, either sports or academics. It's not, too many, dickheads, I guess you could say. Other, public school, you got, kids throwing shit in the fan and just random shit. You get a little bit of that, but it's not the same.
Yeah. School.
Yeah.
But
still high school.
So it was cool. Everybody's focus was, we all had the same goals. I remember sophomore year I took second, and I came back to Ed's, And, you know, one of the football players was, he was like, you know, how'd you do at Stace? And I was like, you know, I took second. You know, I lost in the finals. And he was like, damn, second? Like, if that was at a public school, I would have had a fucking parade, all type of shit. Yeah. But it was, you know, the standard is real high. You know, when you got 6 and 7, 8 state champs in a year and you take second, it's kind of like, damn, you got to win it, you know, next year.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was definitely a good experience.
So you talk about having that standard for like just coming out of high school. So you transition to being a Buckeye where you're on a team who's searching for a title and eventually gets one. So can you kind of tell us how the experience of already coming from one of the best, I mean, arguably one of the best high school wrestling programs in the country, and then walking right into one of the best wrestling programs in the country? Just talk about that transition a little bit.
Yeah, so it was kind of the same mindset. You know, when I got there, they had a lot of tough underclassmen that, you know, Logan, Johnny, Kenny Corge, Josh Demas, they was all coming up. And I actually grew up with a lot of them too. Logan and, you know, Dave used to come to the barn and Milan and shit like that.
Shout out.
Yeah, so I actually came up with a lot of them too. So they beat up on me a lot coming up. Yeah, I guess it was pretty much the same thing as Ed's. You know, everybody was there. Everybody was trying to be All-American or, you know, try to win it. And we all pushed each other. But that college grind is definitely a little different.
Oh, yeah. We know.
It was, yeah. I mean, Ed's, you know, we had a tough schedule and stuff like that, but it's not the same, you know.
Yeah,
everybody,
I mean, like,
state champs.
Yeah, you could wrestle Cleveland State, and you know, I love. I'm just using an example that comes to my mind. We're from Cleveland, but you could wrestle Cleveland State, and they're not a top program, but you know, you're wrestling like theoretically, you're wrestling like a state placer or a state champ. So I was explaining to these high school kids. I'm training some kids now, and it's like you don't get you know, the standard changes, you know, but you don't get like an easy first round match. You didn't cut your weight right. Because a lot of these high schoolers, they don't cut their weight right, and your first match is a first year wrestler, and you just pin him, and then by the time you get to the semis or finals, yeah, it gets harder. But you know, in college, man, you could have the first round. It could be a guy from Gardner Webb or Cleveland State, and like they're not bums or anything like that. They're good. They're good wrestlers.
Right.
Yeah. You got to be ready every single match. You know,
and tough too. You could be up. You could be up 8-1 or you know 10-0, and they still like. Just trying to, you know, just fight back. It's like, damn, you know, I'm just let me get the tech, you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little different.
I want to throw a fun fact in there just in case I forget. But, you know, Mark also came on a recruiting visit to Edinburgh. We had a good time. And I don't know if you guys know this. Casey, you might have known this, but you might have forgot. But he actually wrestled Vince Pickett in the state finals. Vince Pickett went to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
That just
I
really
resonated in college too.
Yeah. So and Pickett ended up going to Edinburgh, but
yeah, he's cool. We kicked it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Right.
Vince is a good guy. All right. So with that being said, we got your high school accomplishments, transition to college. Mark, when did you realize fighting was for you?
So I guess naturally I was always like a little like scrapper. I probably got suspended like 5 times coming up, just growing up through elementary school. Freshman year in high school, I didn't start because I broke my hand fighting.
Wow.
Brawler.
Yeah. But
was it in the wrestling room or at school or elsewhere?
No, it was in school in the locker room.
Yeah.
But I guess the first time I thought about like having it as a career was when Gray Maynard would come back, and he was I think he was the UFC champ at the time. He came back, and he would wrestle with us a little bit and stuff like that. And by the time I got to college, I was, you know, in the summer I would, you know, do a little bit of boxing or kickboxing, and I enjoyed it. So the plan was right after college, right after I graduate, to you know, find a gym, visit some gyms, check some gyms out. I know it's West Coast is heavy for MMA, like Vegas, Arizona, Cali, even like Florida. So those came to mind.
So on that note, you're in Arizona now. So
Phoenix, right? Phoenix.
Yeah.
Made the switch from Ohio. Like, what was that moment where it was like, if I'm gonna do this, that's where I need to be? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my pops, he actually moved out here from Cleveland like 3 years ago. So he was already out here. So I had like a year of school left. So I came out to visit, and I was like, pretty much looking for gyms in the area to train at. So I was on IG, and I saw, I don't know if y'all know Sean O'Malley. But,
we do.
Yeah, he coming up. He getting pretty big now. But he like made a post, and MMA Lab was on there or whatever. So I DM'd him, and I was like, pretty much he gave me the coach's number or whatever. So when I came out here to visit my pops, I hit up John Crouch. That's the coach's name. And he told me to come through. I trained for a week, and, I made the decision to come out here a couple months later. But I made a decision because out here, MMA is more like full-time, like this is your job. And, like, whatever you do on the side is, like, second to MMA.
Okay.
So back home in Cleveland, Strongsville was cool, but it was more like a part-time thing. Like people would work full-time jobs, 9 to 5, and then it would be one practice at like 7 to 9. And I don't know, I feel like MMA is more like, especially when you first start and you got to be, in the gym constantly, just working, technique. And out here is just more full-time. So it was just a better fit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot nicer out here. The weather, everything.
Yeah. Can't beat the desert.
Yeah. Hey, you'll have to Jerome Robinson. I don't know if he's in Phoenix, but Jerome's out in Arizona. Cool
he hit me up.
Yeah, very cool guy. So hit him up for sure.
Yeah, he definitely hit me up. I tried to link with him a couple times. I think he stayed like North Scottsdale. It's like an hour from me.
That sounds right. Yeah.
All right.
He's doing some loans out there. Yep.
You talk about the transition out there, but again, let's get into why we're here. I scroll past on Instagram, UFC Fight Pass. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening for you in the near future, fight-wise?
So I'm not signed to a promotion yet, but the organization I'm fighting for is called LFA. It's like a feeder program for the UFC.
Okay.
So the fight's on Friday, and weigh-in Thursday. I'll leave tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So we want to go the UFC route.
Okay.
So yeah, Bellator's there, but unless they make like a crazy offer, I don't really see that. My coach, he loves UFC over Bellator for young fighters. So we want to go that route. So I probably need about 2 more fights. So
2 more fights?
Yeah.
That was actually going to be one of my next questions. Like, what really makes that determination of which route you go, do you think? Is it more like performance-based, or is it like connection? Or is it, you know what I mean? Like, is it I go show out this weekend, UFC is looking at me, or is it like I need to connect to get in there?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I got a manager, but the manager pretty much just helps you get fights. I guess he just knows, all the promoters. But so it can go either way. They got a contender series, which is every summer. Dana White's contender series. You can get on that, and it's in Vegas. You win that fight, and you impress Dana. He assign you right on the spot.
Okay.
Or you could do like a short notice type, where they somebody might drop out, and then they'll be like Mark
You're
Martin,
up.
right? Yeah, and they might hit you up. The week of the fight. So it could go either way. I would rather do the contender series route. That way, I can be more prepared,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I'm always training, so it don't matter to me.
That's
Gotta
important.
stay ready.
I was gonna ask. So with COVID, has that held you back, made you better, slowed you down? Has that had any real impact on your ability to prep for this weekend?
I mean, I guess you could say it slowed down fights because I was scheduled to fight in March, but that's when everything hit, so that was canceled. And then it ain't really been no other than UFC. It's been no other promotions having fights until now.
Okay.
So I mean, I've still been training. It's been a little different though. Like we just have like a group of like 2 or 3 come in with the coach, and we just
Yep.
you know get it in like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I've still been training. You know, twice a day, same schedule.
Nice. So you leave tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll go to South Dakota tomorrow morning.
South Dakota. You're in Arizona. You're prepared for battle. You go in there and get the job done. How quickly are you, looking to make that turn to like go get the next fight or go get the next contract to keep moving forward? What does that timeline look like?
Right.
For you?
So the Contender Series is August and September.
Okay.
So if I can get on one of those, maybe September, that'd be perfect. But if not, LFA again, and then maybe Contender or short notice. But I'll be ready, especially if I don't take too much damage. This weekend, I'll be ready to go in a couple weeks. So yeah.
Good. So, we don't want to hold you too much longer. Zach or Dave, you have anything you want to know, you're dying to know or dying to ask? Let's ask it now, and then we can, let a guy go.
Oh, no, I think I almost got in the scrap when I came to visit, didn't I?
Yeah. I knew we were at McDonald's. McDonald's. I was like, this man's ready to go right now. Yeah, we had a good time.
That was fun, though. Yeah, we got out.
It was one of those things. I wish you came to Edinburgh because we were there and I knew how good you were. But I wanted to be a Buckeye too, so I was really happy for you. But yeah, I remember that. I'm pretty sure I was started it. I'm pretty sure I started it, and then Mark got my back. Like I started it, and then like he was just like, "Don't go near him," that kind of thing. So yeah.
Hey, to be kids again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I think Casey came down to kick it a couple times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was in Buckeye Land a few times.
Oh,
yeah. We definitely linked a couple times.
Yeah, for
Hell
sure.
of a spot.
Great spot.
Oh yeah.
So one thing I was going to say, I guess not a question, but the one thing I was going to say, we were talking about St. Ed's and St. Ignatius and how it's a cool experience. I guess this is just for like more of the listeners, and I guess you give me your perspective. But I always explain it like, like you always talk to somebody from like a public school, and they're like, "Oh, it's an all boys school, and how do you meet girls?" Or let's say, but I always try to explain it like, when you go to a private school like that, like it's like you meet kids from all around the area, like kind of like what we were talking about, like with West Shore. Like it wasn't just like we went to, just for example, we went to Rocky River Middle School, and then we went to Rocky River High School, and like you're just the same group. It's like for example, you're at West Shore, and then you're meeting like Dominic Abinators from Highland Heights, and you're meeting Ty Walls. I forget where he's from, but just like you actually end up meeting like way more people than you would in a normal high school experience, right? So anything else to add to that? I guess. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing, right?
Yeah. So we had I didn't know how it was gonna turn out either, because I was coming from a public school, to a private school, but we had 2 sister schools right around the block. Yeah, and they would come to, they'd come to all the football games and all that. So it was definitely cool. You got to meet, it was chicks from everywhere. And it was definitely crazy.
And all the public school girls too. All the girls you went to public school you went with. If I hung out with you on the weekend, from your
They
grade
like
school.
to do it with the big St. Ed's E on the singlet too.
If you go to St. Ed's or Ignatius, it's not even fair. Period.
Right. Especially like they would come to all the football games, and Eds and Ignatius was like the two top teams like in the whole city. So it was like, those the games that they wanted to be at. So
Game, sit, and spot, Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, we appreciate you for coming on. You got a big weekend coming up.
Yeah.
Nothing but luck. Maybe we'll be able to have you on at a follow up the fight. Let us know how things went.
Sure.
Maybe
how can I follow the podcast? What is it?
So we're on YouTube. The Forecast, 4 as in FOUR. I'll send it all to you once we hang up. And on Twitter at the Forecast 1. We'll chop this video up. We'll prep it to be posted, and then we'll let the world see you.
Cool. Yeah. I'll repost it or whatever. Just send it to me, and then.
Sounds good to us.
Cool.
Like I said,
Shelton couldn't make it
fight
tonight, but.
Yeah, it'll take time. We're still in the early phases, but I think we're just trying to get the content, get the people we know, and let's talk sports. So,
right. Yeah. Right. Straight like that.
Good luck this weekend, and we'll see you once you secure that W. We'll start talking.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
tell your dad I said what's up, man. Good to see you guys.
All right,
again.
cool. I got you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, Mark.
All right, you too. I'll see y'all later.
See ya.